the elder, and Abalibah, her sister. And they were mine, and they bare sons and daughters. Thus were their names: Samaria is Aholah, and Jerusalem Aholibah. And Aholah played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbours. And what did she do? She had alliances with the Assyrians. They came together. She represented the church. The Assyrians represented the state, and they came together. Which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses. And thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted, with all their idols she defiled herself. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt. For in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised her breasts of her virginity, and poured their whoredoms upon her. Wherefore I have delivered her into the land of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, upon whom she doted. These discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters, and slew her with the sword. And she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her. And when her sister Abalibah saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. She doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbours, captains and rulers clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms, for when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, girded with girdles upon their loins, exceeded in dyed attire upon their heads, all of them princes to look to after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, she doted upon them, and sent messengers unto them unto Chaldea. And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredoms, and she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. So she discovered her whoredoms, and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms, in calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. Thus thou callest to remembrance the lewdness of thy youth, in bruising thy teats by the Egyptians for the paps of thy youth. Therefore, O Aholibah, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. What was this great fornication that Israel and Judah did with the surrounding nations? She sided with them, had alliances with them. Therefore we had church and state. Isaiah 23:17, and it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years that the Lord will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. So we find that an unlawful relationship between two nations is fornication. Daniel chapter 8 verse 12, and an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by regional transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered by reason of transgression. This is the same as fornication, church and state relationship. And you know from previous studies that this word sacrifice is a supplied word, and that the daily is, which is a noun by itself, is paganism. And we find that basically paganism united with the church, and by that union we had the papacy, which is fornication. The healing of the deadly wound. When the USA forms an image to the beast, then the deadly wound will be nearly healed. Then the fornication between the beast and the dragon is forced upon the world by the false prophet. Then the deadly wound becomes completely healed when world dominion or world domination is in place. The wine of fornication, what is wine, is also representative of doctrine. The nations become drunk with her wine of fornication. This shows the importance of correct understanding of doctrines. If we have false doctrines, we will be partakers of Babylonian wine. The drunken woman. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered or was amazed with great admiration or amazement. So here we see that this woman is already drunken with the blood of the saints. What does this tell us? It tells us that there's already been martyrdom, there's already been sacrifices, and there's already been persecution. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. Verse 6. This terrible description coincides with the prophetic picture of the papacy in Daniel chapter 7 and 8, 11 and 12, and also in Revelation 12 and 13. He, the papacy, shall wear out the saints of the Most High, Daniel 7:25. He shall destroy the mighty and holy people, Daniel 8:24. They that understand, i.e. the saints, shall fall by the sword and by flame and by captivity and by spoil many days, Daniel 11:33. And he shall scatter the power of the holy people, Daniel 12 verse 7. The serpent cast out his mouth, water as a flood after the woman, the true church, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, Revelation 12:15. And it was given to him, the papacy, to make war with the saints and to overcome them, Revelation 13:7. The blood of the martyrs. Here we find a coin, a medallion, and we find Pope Gregory the 13th with the dragon of Satan as his heraldic symbol, was also the Pope who, upon hearing of the wholesale slaughter of Protestant French Huguenots, known as St. Bartholomew's Massacre, had a medal struck to celebrate the bloody event. The reverse side of the medal, shown above, depicts an angel with a cross and sword murdering the Huguenot heretics. And this is the church that says she never lies or errs or makes mistakes. 70,000 perished on the 24th of August 1572 at the Bartholomew Massacre. Revelation 13:5, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hands until the time and the times and the dividing of time. This was the 1260 years of papal persecution. Some estimate between 50 to 120 million Protestants were killed and massacred. And what was their crime? Because they accepted the Bible as their authority and not the Pope. The British historian Edward Lecky wrote that the Church of Rome has shed more innocent blood than any other institution that has ever existed among mankind. Will be questioned by no Protestant who has a competent knowledge of history. And what do we find today? That Protestants are questioning this history. And they can only conclude that they have no competent knowledge of this history that took place. And many were thrown in dungeons and killed and slaughtered. Further identifying marks: Babylon, linked to the first beast of Revelation